What is going on? We are back in black in the building, man. What is going on? You already know I'm gonna hit y'all niggas with it. Did Jesus come back? Aw, damn, man. The nigga didn't come back. All that hooping and hollering and all this speaking in tongue and shando and all this other bullshit. But the nigga didn't come back. God damn, man. I guess we'll try for another Sunday. God damn, I keep forgetting to show y'all that placard that I got. Dirty Bookman. Shout out to the elders, Dirty Bookman, Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Shout out to all our SBA ancestors. Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, you know what I mean? Even our living legends, as well as our legends that have joined the ancestors like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, the Honorable Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, the Queen Mother. Hey, circular thinking. She be on that shit. Shout out to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Also, shout out to Nilly Fuller Jr. Very, very, very inspirational. He said a lot of straight up shit, and you know, you'll learn from that. Shout out to everybody out there, man, that's handling business. I couldn't do it on Thursday. I had some shit to go and handle, so I couldn't get on Thursday, man. But shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to I told you I didn't get a chance to respond, but I saw that picture though. I was just getting ready to go live when you see me that picture. You out of line for that shit. That shit is funny. Like somebody gay auntie. Excuse me. Look. Nah, nigga, I ain't got no motherfucking COVID, so fuck what y'all niggas is talking about. But anyway, shout out to everybody out there. Shawnee, Erica, No Compromise, 066, Screwhead, Miss Tanya, LaTanya, Tomish, everybody out there, man. Hey, man, just reading and studying. Before I get into any topics or anything like that, I just wanted to tell y'all, this book right here, just as a reminder, go check this book out. Sweet Taste of Liberty. It's about Henrietta Woods. She got kidnapped into slavery. Then she broke away from slavery. Then she got kidnapped into it again. Then she sued them motherfuckers and got restitution. It was only like $2,500. She sued for $20,000. She only got $2,500, but it's a very, very good book. And her son ended up becoming a lawyer. I forgot it. I think his name is either. God, I gotta remember his name. But shout out to that book. That's a very good book. And y'all niggas need to go, before we get to the subject, y'all niggas need to go get this book. Foundational Black American Race Baiter by Tariq Nasheed. Very, very good book. I suggest y'all go get that book. Hold on, because I don't want no glare in it. Go get this book. Very, very good book. One of the main things that he talks about in this book that had me dying laughing, and I'm going to get into it, he talks about how, I think he's from Alabama, and how everybody was sad because that coach, that famous college football coach, died. He's like, why the fuck is we all bowing our heads and all sad for a white football coach? Like, what the fuck is this shit all about? You know what I mean? And then talk about how the teachers try to put him in special education. And, you know, it's a very, very good book. And he breaks down different segments of of the Karens, the Uncle Plantation. Man, I sent that. Man, my phone on the charger. I sent this to my homegirl. Shout out to my homegirl Jerica. Hey man, I was like, hey Jerica, who is this? And she told me exactly who it was. We was dying laughing on the phone. But anyway, man, I'm about to get into it right now. And shout out to everybody that's at Sunday school right now, teaching your Sunday school lesson. And then, good goddamn well, you was at the club trying to get drafted last night and trying to be a part of some niggas corporation. So you ain't got to go to Sunday school. So shout out to all you bitches out there. Shout out to all you niggas out there too, going to church and preaching, and then knowing good damn well you got to fuck some hoes. Like, stop all the bullshit. I'm going to have a subject about that too. And I'm going to do a subject about, I would say, what is the black church contributing to black society besides selling hope? That's going to be one of my topics. I'm just trying to gather my thoughts, and I want to do some more studying, and I'm going to break it down. But we're going to get into it. Don't give me the singing in this motherfucker. I'll be like, IG, if you want to come through tonight. Text me if you want to come through tonight. Call me if you want to come through tonight. I make you feel good. Feel good. No, I'm just fucking with y'all. I'll be like, I make you feel good. Look at that. Now, let's cut this shit down. You know what I'm saying? I got to have the music going. But anyway, man. Yeah, I was thinking about that, man. I'm like, yeah, we gonna do that. Shout out to No Compromise again, man. I hit him up on Twitter, man. We got to do a Twitter space, man. And we got to do it. I got to figure out when I want to do my Twitter space and see who catch on. Because Twitter space is about to be like Clubhouse, where it's like popularity. It ain't even really finna be about the subject matter. It's going to be more about popularity. And I'm willing and I'm open to listen to anybody. But the thing about it is we got to have real subjects, real topics, and we got to have real solutions. We can't just be on there rambling and babbling, and we ain't got no solutions to the motherfucking problem. So, you know what I mean? So that's you know what I mean? Let me see. Let's see. Being on code tactics. I'm telling you, man. Dante Wright, he ran away from the police because he was in fear of his life, and that white Karen funky bitch shot him in the back, knew that she should have shot him, and then the Asian bitch, see, this is what y'all get about this Asian and black coalition. Ain't no fucking Asian and black coalition. That bitch is dog whistling to the dominant society, and she know what she's doing because she wants to be white. See, y'all motherfuckers be getting it twisted. Y'all motherfuckers, and look, they're suspected white supremacists, or they're an honorary white supremacist, or they're a white supremacist in training. And until you really understand that shit, it's just gonna confuse you. Motherfuckers be thinking, oh, it's an Asian judge. Shit, I'll be looking at the Asian judge upside their head too. Like, okay, what side of the racism is he coming from? Cause man, that shit it's crazy. It really is. And I think we have to do more and a better job at understanding that. Let me see if I can find. I'm trying to find the article of Dante Wright's mom talking about how her white tears wasn't good enough. Hold on, let's see. I'm trying to see it, and I'm gonna play it. But before I play it, I just want to discuss this. No Compromise, Erica, Shawnee, Tasha, while y'all at the job or whatever, just think about it. How many people at the corporate plantation that we have dealt with that are from other racial groups or ethnicities or whatever you want to call it when we break it down, right? And they will smile with you, but what do they always conform to? The dominant society. They'll smile with you and laugh and joke and talk with a twang, but at the end of the day, their goal and their mission, in my perspective, is to please and be assimilated with the dominant society. They want to be a part of that society so bad, and I think a lot of us don't understand that. And I think we take them, yo, and twang, it ain't about that. No, you know, they can talk with a twang, and they can twerk and shit and dance, and we be thinking, oh, they cool. That doesn't necessarily mean they cool. If you read this book right here, Nelly Fuller Jr.'s book, The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code of Ethics by Neely Fuller Jr. He talks about until they prove to you that they're not white supremacists, then they're suspected white supremacists. Until they prove to you. So they got to prove it to you that they're white supremacists. And stop getting into this habit of telling people that black people are not racist. You know we not racist. We don't have any power. Racism is the competition of resources. Go read Black Labor, White Wealth. That's what it is. And that group that gets those resources, they use those resources to oppress and manipulate another racial group. And they bend the rules to their liking when they are in control of the natural resources. Meaning this, when a person says, oh, black racism, see, they think racism is calling somebody a cracker or a honky or a chink or something like that. That's a racial slur. That's not racism. Racism is, I'm not hiring you, Warren, because you a nigga. Racism is, I don't like you, Jarquisha, so you can't live in this neighborhood. So I'm going to redline areas where I don't want you living. Racism is, hey, Bonquisha, you can't live in this neighborhood anymore because we're going to gentrify it and we're going to make it so unaffordable for you, you're going to have to hit the road. That's what racism is. Racism is Flint, Michigan water. That's racism. Racism is this. But I was watching this thing, right? Because I watch, like, the one thing I do like about Netflix got a lot of fucking, like, they'll have like documentaries on there. And they had a documentary about Boeing. And the documentary, Boeing, the airplanes and McDonnell Douglas. Well, if you're from California, you know a lot of people work for McDonnell Douglas aircraft. Well, McDonnell Douglas and Boeing, they merged. I remember when they merged. And there was a lot of layoffs and a lot of bullshit going on. Well, let's just keep it in context. We're dealing with the dominant society's corporations, their plantations, which are tied to the stock market. So this one white employee was basically like, yeah, the upper buzz was basically like, if there's any problems with these planes, just don't tell us about it and don't document it. And what ended up happening was that plane, y'all remember that plane of them Ethiopians? They was going to Ethiopia or whatever, and it crashed because there was something wrong with there was like a sensor that they attached to the plane that could break off, and it could cause the autopilot to take over the plane and cause the plane to crash. Well, that's what happened, and it killed like 156 people. And the vice president of Boeing, whatever, he made a speech, so the board made him resign. But when he resigned and left with $60 million. That's white supremacy. That's racism. Nigga, when you lose your motherfucking job, you're leaving with Nathan. You might be living with a little bit of stock, a little bit of bonds, a little bit of 401k, but they're not giving you no severance like, oh, Warren, you've been a slave nigga for us for 30 years, so we're going to give you $2.5 million and send you on your way. No, they're not doing that. But it just always happens to be these dominant society motherfuckers at the top. They'll leave and be as crooked as the letter S and still leave with a nice severance package. $60 million? And then they had to pay $2.5 billion worth of fines so they wouldn't face criminal charges, because the United States of America Incorporated, that's what it all boils down to. Money. Who controls the money? The dominant society. Ashe, what's going on, Eric? I see you. They control that shit. So do not get into a back and forth war with people about black folk being racist. Again, I'm going to say, black folk don't own and control any natural resources. We don't own and control the money. We don't own and control water, gas, trash, sewer. We don't own and control none of that shit. So how can you be racist? Like I said, racism is, I don't like you, Warren, because you're black and this is a Caucasian community and I don't want you blackening up my community, so I'm not selling you the house just because you a nigga. Racism is, oh, you want to start a business? Yeah, but you can't start the business over here, nigga. Go start it somewhere else. That's racism. See, they trying to muddy up the waters and they're trying to liken racial slurs to racism. Black people can use racial slurs all day long to define other racial groups, but we can't control any of those racial groups by oppressing them with resources because we don't own any resources. That's the problem with niggas. And another problem that I have too is we're fighting two wars. We're fighting each other and then we're fighting every other racial group. We're fighting both. And there comes a time where you have to understand, all right, look, we got to wake up. Just like I feel like, and it's sad that Dante Wright got shot in the back, but I want you to listen to what his dominant society Caucasian mother says. I bet you that fucked her up in her mind. Like, damn it, yeah, because you had a black baby. So they're going to treat you like a nigga lover. So it's fucked up that this is happening, but it's reality. And that funky Asian judge with her fake American name, Regina, stop. Now, when the last time you met an Asian woman with the name Regina? Stop. That's so you can fit into the dominant society. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these racial groups, they just want to be a part of the dominant society so bad. And look, let me tell you, we have our coons and our sambos within the black, foundational black community, whatever. We everybody has their own definition of coon or sambo. Some motherfuckers probably call me a coon. I don't give a fuck what niggas say. But I'll tell you this. We need to understand that this is not for play. We got to start studying and reading. And before I play what this sister says, we need to start listening and studying. And we need to get our head out of our asses. And we need to stop speaking in fucking tongues and just studying your Sunday school lesson. And motherfuckers need to start reading books like The Fall of America. Motherfuckers need to start reading books like The Black History Reader. Motherfuckers need to know who the fuck Andrew Jackson is and all these people. We need to know. When a motherfucker be like, oh, well, slavery was so long ago and all this other stuff. And, our forefathers, when you be like, when a person's like forefathers, the first thing you should say, I remember I said this on Twitter one time. This is before my one Twitter account got taken down. I said, your forefathers who were all white supremacists, who were all raping and robbing black slaves. Oh, yeah, like Thomas Jefferson, who was a white supremacist. He even wrote a book about white supremacy. So what are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, oh, you're a homophobic. I'm like, what does homophobic got to do with Thomas Jefferson being a white supremacist? Deflecting. Let me see. Your son is riding on his Christmas present and gets crashed over by the police. Okay, gets crashed by, wait. But sadly, we have black mothers feeling not my son until your son is riding on his Christmas present and gets crashed over by, yep, that's a fact. And we have to wake up and understand that. So here, I'm going to play some of this, and I want y'all to hear it. And I just really want y'all to hear it, and I want y'all to just really digest what she's saying.
Very disappointed in the outcome. Yes, we got a conviction, and we thank everybody for that. But again, this isn't okay. This is the problem with our justice system today. White women's tears trumps.
Wow.
Trumps justice.
Ooh, did y'all hear that? She said, white woman's tears trump justice. That's what she said. She said, white women's tears trumps justice. Well, yeah, for an example, Emmett Till's mother. Look at Emmett Till. That bitch lying. She's still around. They should have prosecuted that bitch and threw that funky bitch in jail for that. You got somebody killed because you didn't like a nigga. And motherfuckers want to sit around and be like, oh, well, that was so long ago. What the fuck you mean that was so long ago? That wasn't so long ago. What kind of shit is that? That's why, let me see if I can find something else. Because you couldn't really hear that. Let's see what else I can find. Because you couldn't really hear that. You can hear it a little bit, but you couldn't really hear it. Here, I'm going to see. Let's see if we can find. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm just waiting for the commercials to go by. But she said some real profound shit when she said white women's tears trumps justice. You know what I mean? And that's some real shit. Now, I'm not going to be like, oh, no. I just think it really probably messed with her head. Okay, here we go. Let's see. There we go.
His family, friends, and his son. Dante's smile was genuine and big, just like his dreams. You took this. You took his future, what he could have been, and it was so many things. April 11th.
And this is Dante Wright's mother right now. And she's talking about how that other Caucasian took this brother's life.
Was the worst day of my life. A police officer who was supposed to serve and protect took so much away from us. She took our baby boy with a single gunshot through his heart. She shattered mine. My life and my world will never, ever be the same. And I often replay that phone call in my head over and over again. And I blame myself because I should have told him I shouldn't have told him it was going to be all right. I told him he was going to be okay. And just to find out a few minutes later, he wasn't. A police officer that took an oath to serve and protect.
Serve and protect. Very good words to use, because they're not there to serve and protect. If we know anything about the history in this country, the United States of America Incorporated, we would know this. The police, they were there to catch slaves and round them up. That was their job, to protect the dominant society from the slaves and from black folk. That's what their job was. Their job wasn't to protect and serve. That's why if you read the book Slavery by Another Name, it talks about that, how a motherfucker could be like, hey, you owe me money. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. Okay, I'll be back. And motherfucker come back with the police and the magistrate and lock your ass up. That's what the police was there for. They wasn't there to protect black folk. They didn't give a fuck about no niggas.
For 26 years. But not on this day. On this day, she did not protect. She failed Dante, our family, and our community. She did not render aid to Dante, Elena, or the elderly couple that was in the vehicle. His car was held at gunpoint for over 5 minutes while my son bled out in the driver's seat.
Because they wanted him to die, my white sister. They wanted him to die. See, she's being nice about it. Y'all killed my son because he's black. You are all racist. You know you're all complicit. You know what you were doing. That's why you were on video saying, oh, I shot him. You know what you was doing. So stop all this other shit. See, that's soft shoeing to me. No, they know what they was doing when they pulled that car over and it's a nigga? Yeah. Put your guns up, because we getting ready to kill a nigga today. That's a fact.
The last memories of Dante's life is now watching him being shot over and over again. Seeing his lifeless body pulled and dragged onto a grassy spot where they left him on the ground for hours.
Because that's what they do to black folk. That's what they do to us. This is what motherfuckers don't get. This is what they do to us. For real, for real. I just wanted to play a little bit of it because all those tears, that judge was still like, whoa, well. Oh, man. Let me see if I can find something. Let's see if I can find something of her speaking on the outcome. Let's see. I'm going to see, and I'm going to play this, and that's it. But and you're right, Erica. You're right, sis. Until it affects them, and you see, this is what I mean. When you are having kids with other racial groups, it is your job as the black person, not everybody else. Before I play this again, this is just my advice. When you're having children outside of your race, and you're having them with other racial groups, no matter what they are, I'm putting the responsibility on the black parent. I'm not putting the responsibility on any other racial group. So, because you can't stop people from fucking who they want to fuck and who they want to have kids with and all that. That's just divisive. And we don't have time for that. But I'm just saying, if that's what you choose to do, it is your duty as the foundational black American parent to educate that child to the fullest. And if they don't want to listen, when they walk away, they can never say you didn't tell them. That's always been my philosophy. You can't never say Warren didn't tell you. You can ask any of my family members, any of my siblings, they'll tell you like, yeah, the nigga did tell me. I told you already. Now that's on you. Whether you want to listen or you don't want to listen, it's entirely up to you. But I told you. And it's your job to educate and tell people, especially if those are your children. Let's say you have a child by East Indian or an Asian person. That's neither here nor there. No, you're gonna do the educating on racism. You don't let that other parent do it, because what the fuck could they tell you about racism? Every other racial group has not went through what we went through in this country. That's the problem. I think a lot of the times that I remember one time, this is a long time ago, this is when I used to work at the YMCA. I remember this one time, it'd be a lot of mixed children there too, and it'd be some, majority of it was white moms and black dads, and I'll be cool with them, man, because it's my people. This is way before I was reading anything. I just always looked at mixed kids like they black, they my people. And I remember one time there was a little situation, at the YMCA, and the white mom basically came up to me, and at first I was like, oh, this bitch finna be on some racist shit. But when she started talking, she just was like, because I was kind of educating the kid on, look, hey man, you can't be doing that. You can't be saying that, because your ass the one that's gonna be in trouble, not everybody else. And she actually came to me and was like, thank you for educating my son, because it's different for him than it is for everybody else, and it doesn't resonate with him coming from me, because she was like, I'm white, so it's very difficult for him to understand that. But with you being a black man, it just resonates with him. He listens, and it was like that with a lot of the kids, at the Y. I got shout out to Leo and all of them that worked at the Y. They remember all the mixed kids that used to be up there, and when it was coming from a black person, it was a different vibration than a white person, because a white person, a lot of the times, they're coming from ignorance and they're coming from fear, and they don't know how to really talk to a black kid. So it's fear and ignorance. So, we would have conversations, and I didn't fuck or nothing like that. Nigga like, oh, Warren, you fuck. Nah, we just was like, we would have conversations about that. And I would always be like, look, man, I don't play that. I don't, like, we got to educate. Before I was reading, and that's what I think we need to start putting back into the communities. No matter who you had these kids with, it's your job as the foundational black American parent to educate that kid to the fullest. And then if a nigga don't want to listen, that's on them. They can never say that you didn't tell them. But as long as you're telling them and giving them and arming them with as much knowledge as you possibly can, that's what matters most, because that brother Dante Wright, man, there was really nothing he could do. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he's black, and he is black in white America. He's black in the system of racism and white supremacy. What else was he gonna do? He ran because he was scared. He ran because he know these fucking race soldiers are known for shooting and killing niggas. So why would he stay around there so he can get the whole car shot up? It's sad, but that's our reality of what we're looking at right now. So I think it's best that we, as people, start understanding what the fuck is going on. We have to understand that shit. Okay, so here, I'm gonna play this, and this is it, man. I'm gonna play this shit. I just want y'all to hear this one more time.
Kim Potter murdered my son. And he died April 11th. Today, the justice system murdered him all over again. To sit there and watch, pouring my heart out in my victim impact statement that took so long to write.
Which they don't give a flying fuck about those impact statements. They don't care. If it comes up to the judge, they do not care about that shit. Because they're going to use their full disclosure on what the fuck they going to do. I mean, their full discretion on what the fuck they going to do.
And I reread it over and over again to not get a response out of the judge at all. But then when it came down to sentencing Kim Potter, she broke out in tears.
The Asian bitch broke out in tears when she had to send the white bitch to jail. So what the fuck does that tell y'all today? Haven't y'all learned enough going into these liquor stores, hurry up and buy, and all this bullshit, and you go to the swap meet, and you got these Asian motherfuckers selling you pro clubs, and say, I ain't been back to that swap meet since. The last time I went to that swap meet on Washington and Rancho was probably 2016. And then I just didn't like it. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like how that woman was talking. Oh, I was very hard. And, and I just, it was very, 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 very targeted towards black folk. They had all these clothes targeted towards us. And my thing was, where the fuck did y'all get this idea from? how are y'all getting the supply of all these pro clubs to us? Who is y'all supplier, and why is it black folk are not selling to black folk? It's the same thing that I was thinking about when it comes to everything else. I'm just like, it was something else I was thinking about in my mind. I'm blanking right now, but I'm like, how come we don't have, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why is it there's no black audio car and alarm car stereo system shops out here in Las Vegas, Nevada? Everyone is either Latino or white. I don't see no black ones. I would pay more just to go to a black shop to support that black business. But I don't see anyone out here. And I'm scratching my head because I just went on Google and I'm looking and I'm like, let me see if everyone was either Latino or white. So that's stuff that we need to look at.
So once again, we are standing here to say that we're very disappointed in the outcome. Yes, we got a conviction, and we thank everybody for that. But again, this isn't okay. This is the problem with our justice system today. White women tears trumps.
Wow.
Trumps justice.
Let's rewind that one more time. We're going to rewind that one more time. See, because it's going to resonate. White women's tears trumps the justice system. Let's see. Erica, Tasha, Shawnee, no compromise. You already know what I'm going to say. I got one example for y'all, and I'm going to say it after I play this one more time.
Justice system today. White women tears trumps.
Wow.
Trumps justice. And I thought my white women tears would be good enough.
Ha ha! Oh no, you a nigga lover, bitch. That's how they look at you. That's exactly how they look at that sister. Oh, well, you love niggas, so you ain't one of us.
Because they're true and genuine. But when they're coerced, coached, and taught by the defense attorney, I guess we didn't have a win in this at all.
That was impactful right there. Okay, this is all I'm gonna say. No compromise. You already know what I'm gonna say. No compromise. Already know what I'm gonna say. Let me see if I can find that motherfucking book. Let me see if I can find that book. Now, y'all heard what she said, right? She said, white women's tears trumps the justice system. Meaning, if you're white and you start crying, they gonna always side with you. Now, this is like Luke versus Darth Vader. Facts. Now, this is what I'm going to say. A motherfucker want to tell foundational black Americans we don't need reparations? I got one book, Never Caught, The Untold Story of Una Judge, and it explicitly talks about how Martha Washington, who had more money than George Washington because of endowment, she was always marrying men that had money. So when she married George Washington, she had way more money than him. You know, George Washington was taking out niggas' teeth and shit because his teeth was all fucked up. So, in this book, it talks about that Martha Washington had more money than George Washington. You're like, well, what do you mean, Warren? You talk about white women's tears. Let me tell you something. They want to tell us we can't get reparations. In this book right here, this book right the fuck here says one thing that I will never forget. Martha Washington had 17,500 acres of motherfucking land. They didn't even want to give us 40, but this bitch had 17,500 acres of land off the backs of black people. So I don't want to hear shit about we should get reparations. And I don't want to hear shit about no bullshit ass white fragility that motherfuckers are displaying. Now this Caucasian lady done straight told you. Now what else do y'all need to hear? She just told you, look y'all, I'm white and they still didn't fucking side with me because my son is black. So y'all fucked. So basically, we need to turn the page, move aside to move ahead, start studying, having resolutions, Having solvents to your problem. If you're around somebody and they ain't got solvents, get the fuck away from them. If you're around people and they're not trying to resolve their own inner issues that they have, let them resolve them issues on their own. You're not everybody's therapist. If you have good energy, you're around someone and all of a sudden, every time you leave them, your energy is fucked up, get the fuck away from them, because we are already in war. This is already a war. And they have a 17,500 acres of land head start. Because that was in the 1700s, this bitch had 17,500 acres of land. So I just would leave y'all with that. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody that's doing what they need to do to survive. But I'm going to say it one more time. They said that we don't need reparations. But Martha Washington had 17,500 acres of land. And our sister just said, white women's tears trumps the justice system. That's all you need to know. Well, why do you keep saying 17,500 acres of land? I want you, if you're in Las Vegas, Nevada, Google what the price of 1 acre of land is in Las Vegas. If you're in New York, Google what the price of land is for an acre. How much you'll pay for an acre. Google that. Wherever you from, Google it. Oh, well, she was in Virginia. I don't give a fuck if she was in Costa Rica, motherfucker. She had 17,500 acres of land off the backs of black labor. She had the biggest goddamn plantation in Virginia. The fuck is y'all talking about? Her and her husband, and they kept moving Una Judge back and forth because of the slave laws and shit. So they would take her to Pennsylvania, and then Pennsylvania was basically like, okay, if she's here over 6 months, then she automatically becomes free. Okay, well then we gonna take her back to Virginia. This is the type of sucker shit that they was doing. But you wanna tell me some shit about, well, y'all, what y'all gonna do with the reparations? And maybe Jeremiah, maybe Dante Wright, he should have complied with ours. I read some silly ass Simple Simon bullshit on Twitter. I was like, listen to these motherfuckers until it happened to your kid. Then motherfuckers gonna be like, yeah, that's fucked up what the police did. Man, fuck out of here. That's why they took cops off TV for so long. They took cops off TV because cops was telling you how police officers really treat motherfuckers. But hey, man, that's been my time. I went way over my time. I just think we need to start studying, reading, get that foundational Black American Race Baiter by Tariq Nasheed. Go get A Sweet Taste of Liberty. That story is about Henrietta Woods. They kidnapped her. She escaped slavery. Then they kidnapped her again. Then she escaped. And Zebulon Ward was over the fucking penitentiary. So he's funneling prisoners through the pipeline situation. These motherfuckers are wickedly brilliant, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talks about. But hey, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. You already know what it is. If you like this page, subscribe to it. If you don't, shit, whatever it is. I'm not cloud chasing. I don't give a fuck. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, the NBA, that all-star basketball, that shit was horrible last night. I watched a little bit of that shit. I turned the shit off, I started watching Netflix. I was like, this is some bullshit. They had Aisha Curry and Steph Curry's wife on there about some sucker-ass show that they got on HBO that I watched for 2 minutes that was whack. The dunk contest, I've never seen a nigga take 15 minutes to do one dunk. I said, what the fuck is this shit going on? God damn. I said, man, this entertainment shit is for the fucking birds. Y'all paying these niggas millions of dollars to take them 20 minutes to do one dunk in a dunk contest? God damn. I'm like, man, this shit is getting boring. God damn. But anyway, man, I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it ain't. Hey, man, leave your comments. Hey, shout out to my cousin Mariah, too. One day I'm gonna have to get up with y'all and go bowling some shit. But y'all niggas can't go late. Now I be in the bed. Shit, I gotta play my music and go to bed type shit. Fuck that. But anyway, man, hey, I got nothing but love for y'all, man. Y'all know what it is. And for any motherfucker making excuses for Ken Potter, talking about, well, if Dante Wright would have complied, then everything would have been okay. You're a Sambo Coon telling about the gun line, Hayward Shepherd, Steven from Django. I don't fuck with you, and y'all already know what my words are gonna be. Guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.